All right, welcome back to the Dragon Sangai Player Talks. I've got a special guest tonight, so if you'd like to introduce yourself, mate.
Mate, Nick, yeah, I'm Nathan Waters, mate. I'm just a strength coach at Total Life Performance. Used to play a bit of rugby league, so now I'm into sort of working in the gym. I've done a bit of coaching and stuff like that over the years since I've retired, but now my focus is just in the gym with the boys and working on a bit of strength training and nutrition with them.
Yeah, so we'll get into the questions. I'll just get the page up. So, how did you get into footy?
Footy's just something that I played when I was a young kid, man. I'm not actually sure how I got into it. I think it was just an interest all along. Probably just watching, footy with dad and stuff like that, and then just started playing when I was like 6 years old, and then like a lot of people sort of just kept playing all the way through because I loved it, and then just continued on that way, man. It was always just a passion. It wasn't anything other than that. I just loved it. So always just wanted to play footy.
And what was your favourite club growing up that you supported?
Actually, when I was real young, it was Parramatta because at the time Peter Sterling was still playing there, so that was a long time ago, man. But Sterlo and Kenny and stuff like that was still playing. So I think they were kind of like the initial guys that I sort of followed that I could remember. But then as I sort of got a bit older, I started liking the Magpies because that was our local side. So I always had a soft spot for them. But the first team that I liked, I think it was Para. But after that, the Maggies were the team for me.
And who was your favourite player of all time?
Favourite player of all time is Andrew Johns for me. Like I've got a lot of players that I like, but I think his impact was enormous. So the influence that he had on the game, I think for me, it's Joey. Yeah.
And how did you get into coaching?
How I got into coaching, I actually fell into it. So in 2014, I sort of retired halfway through the year, and then our coach at West at the time, or one of my former coaches, he was going up a role. He's going to be a CEO, and we just joked about coaching at one point because I hadn't retired at that point. And then the role came up just to coach on Massey Cup for West the following season. So I just took that on because you don't sort of get that opportunity every day. So I had to go at that, man. I think I coached it for maybe 4 years or so. So I had to go with the boys there, and it was, it has its different challenges, but it was a good time.
And what was it like making your NRL debut?
It was nerve-wracking, man. Yeah, it was, but also a lot of relief because I debuted. I only played the one game, man. It was only a few minutes. It wasn't anything groundbreaking, and I didn't kill it or anything like that. But I was such a grinder, man, and it took me a long time to sort of crack it. So it was one of those things that was kind of a relief, but also like you're pretty happy with yourself later on. But when you get to reflect, but it's only been sort of now that you sort of appreciate it. At the time, not appreciate it, but you sort of can. For me, man, I didn't want to ever think that I was better than I was. So to look back at it now is probably I probably appreciate it more now than at the actual time because I was still trying to be a better player and try and get more games. You know what I mean? So it was a bit of a relief, and then I sort of felt like probably a bit more worthy to be around the boys at training and stuff like that instead of just being a bit of an imposter. It felt like at times until you get out there on the field with them and actually try and do the job that you have to do. So yeah, it was exciting, but it was also a bit of a relief too, man.
And what clubs have you professionally played for?
Professionally, just the West Tigers, mate. I was a West junior, so I stayed there my whole life, my whole career. And then actually, 2013, I went down to the Cutters for a little bit. But I probably only lasted just before half a season. It sort of wasn't working out for me. I was a little bit injured and I wasn't playing too well, so I come back home to the Maggies, and then from there back to the West Tigers reserve grade the following year. And then that was when I finished up. But pretty much just the West Magpies, mate, and then a little bit with the West Tigers here and there.
And who was your favourite person to play along with?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't have like one. Probably I don't have one player. It's probably just a group of players, mate. It's being like a local junior. We had a good crew for our street ball side. So around that time, there, I'd have to say all those boys, mate. We all grew up together, and we sort of just, it was one of those things. It was a really good time, real good culture, and we just loved playing together. So just that whole group of boys, it was like. Bryce Gibbs, Liam Fulton, Isaac De Gois, they're the boys you might know. Like, there's a lot of boys debuted from there. Benny Roberts, Dean Collis. I've probably forgotten a few that debuted, but then all the other boys too that were just there. Jamie Sinzer-Bernick, he's actually coaching Harold Matz at the Steelers this year.
Yep.
Just all those boys, man. So it was one of those things where we're just a young bunch of blokes and sort of getting after it, and it was just a good time. So I don't really have one in particular, but there's always just good teams that you're involved with,
And how did you get into the coaching you're doing at the moment?
Oh, this was just, mate, I got into the strength training and nutrition side of things, just trying to be a better player for myself. The sort of advice I was getting around training with the nutrition and stuff wasn't working for me personally, so I had to go look for other answers. And that led me into the work of Charles Poliquin. So I went and got certified by him. And then from there, I've just sort of continued to learn and continued to grow in that on those areas. So it's always been just to try and better myself. But then throughout that sort of the course of doing that, it was like, oh, I can actually help others and they want to get a bit of advice and stuff like that. So again, this was sort of something that wasn't planned, but it sort of just, I just sort of fell into it just through people asking questions and then realizing like I can actually make something out of it. So it's good. It's a passion. So it's one of those things where it doesn't feel like work, which is really good. So that's why I enjoy it too, man. Just helping people out, you're helping yourself, but you're not sort of grinding away. I look forward to get to work and try and help everyone out.
What was your favourite and worst part of a preseason?
I think just like everyone, just the worst part is just knowing you're going to get flogged running a lot. So we used to do a lot of Ks back in the day. So there was a lot of running. That was probably the worst part of it. But in the sense, it's still that hard work is also kind of your favourite part too, because you build a lot of character and you get to see a lot of boys' character. So I think it's like a good bonding time as well. So as much as we all hate the off season, I think it's still a good time to sort of build your team, but culture wise or work ethic wise. So yeah, even though you hate those sessions, I still think it's probably the worst part. Your favourite, it's a bit of a weird thing to say, but yeah.
What was your favourite Origin game you've watched?
Oh man, I'm not sure actually. I don't have a favourite that stands out. That's a tough one. I like them all, mate. The intensity of it's been, I like them all, but I like the earlier days too, where we used to get home from training when we were young kids, and there used to be a bit of a fight and things like that. I'm not a fighter, but I just like that intensity, and you just knew there was going to be like a bit of explosion there. So that was always exciting when you were young to sort of get home and watch that.
And with your current coaching, have you coached any NRL players?
They're not current NRL players. I've sort of consulted with a few here and there just on technique and things like this, or I've sort of helped them with their nutrition and that, but not someone who's been in regularly daily with me. They're a bit younger. The kids are sort of, we've got guys who have been with Harold Matz, Ashley Ball, the Flag. There's a lot of kids in that. I've probably had a couple of hundred of them. Well, maybe not a couple of hundred, but around 100, sorry. And then from there, bit of reserve grade and stuff like that, Rob Massey Cup and things like that, but they're sort of just coming up the ranks now. So maybe in the next few years, I'm hoping a few might debut or something like that. So it's exciting, man, just to sort of work with a few guys and see if they can kick on,
Yeah. So what's an average day of training for you?
An average day of training for me? Average day for me is I get here to the gym at like 5 a.m. and I start training, like coaching my clients at 5:30. And then around 8:30, I train myself. So I'll knock out a weight session, probably 8:30 to 9:30-ish. Then I might have another client after that, depending if I've got a PT or not. And then depending on the day, I still go to the club and work in the middle of the day at a Catholic club to get a steady income. And then I'll get back here at, say, 2 o'clock, and then I'll start coaching everyone again. I knock out a session between 2 and 2:30, like a bit of a conditioning type of session. But it's normally, for me now, I've sort of made it a bit more low intensity because I was sort of overtraining and getting injured a lot. So I've sort of only just started introducing that again now, but a little bit lower intensity, not smashing myself real hard with intervals. And then from 2:30 onwards, I'll be coaching again until 6:30. Then I go next door and we've got a jiu-jitsu academy. So I do jiu-jitsu from 6:30 to 7:30. And then I have a PT client from 7:30 to 8:30 to finish off the day, man. So they're pretty long days at the moment, but it's like I said, man, it's only because I enjoy it so much that I'm able to sort of pump out that much work. And in between there, I'm writing programs and, doing nutrition plans and things like that. So that middle of the day is for more computer work type stuff, and both ends of the day are more face-to-face with the clients.
And where are you mainly based out of?
We're based out of Narellan, so we've got a gym here at Narellan. And then we also have another place that we consult with out of at Ingleburn as well. So my wife and one of our staff members, they're both exercise physiologists. So they work with a lot of chronic disease management stuff. So they do a lot of stuff with people who've had heart attacks, stroke, or just chronic work cover, things like that. So they might have a low back injury or something like that. They help prescribe exercises to sort of get them back into work and just functioning properly in daily life. So we have that side of things, and then we sort of have like just general population sort of clients as well, who just might want to get fitter and lose a bit of weight and just be a bit healthier. And then on the other side, we also have the athletes who, mostly it's rugby league or jiu-jitsu clients, but we also work with runners. We got throwers, swimmers. So we sort of go across the board now. It started out with leagues because that was my little network, but once you sort of get results in there and people sort of understand that we know what we're doing, we really like individualize it to the person. So it's not a cookie cutter where everyone comes in and squats one day. You and I could train at the same time, but you're doing your program, I'm doing mine. And from there, it's we coach everyone throughout every session as well, man. So our gym membership isn't just come in and lift. Everyone's got a program. They get a nutrition plan. They get mobility drills, like rehab, prehab type stuff. And whilst they train, I'm always coaching them on the gym floor too. So I wanted it where it's very individualized, that you get coached, but at a bit of a better rate than what the PT is. So it doesn't matter if you do PT, gym membership, everything's you looked after no matter what.
And how did you prepare for a game?
How do I prepare for a game? On the day itself or throughout the week?
Throughout the week and the day.
Throughout the week, it's pretty consistent. It's just like making sure my nutrition was good, sleep was good, and my hydration was there. Like just the standard things you got to do every day kind of thing. And then whatever we sort of had to do at training, you're knocking those out. And around that, I would always work on a bit of kicking. I was a half or hooker, and I wasn't naturally a great kicker, so I had to work on it a fair bit. Where some guys can sort of get away with a bit less. So for me, I'd be down there doing a bit of kicking prior to training, just to make sure I'm hitting the ball well. But once I sort of found the rhythm, that was it. I'd be done with it, and I wouldn't really do any extras throughout the week and conditioning. That I'd already have a good base from the off season and stuff like that. So most of it was skill based stuff, whether it would be kicking or run a little play with my edge or something like that. But then come game day, it's pretty much the same. I keep the same nutrition. I don't do any carb loading or anything like that. It's all the same nutrition. And just try and chill out. I go for like a morning walk or ride, because normally if you play in reserve grade, you normally kick off around 3 o'clock, so you can get a pretty good routine. So it's either like a lot of the time would be Saturday or Sunday. We get the odd Friday night game. We change it up with work and things, but most of the time would be a 3 o'clock Saturday game. So yeah, just wake up, have some food, and go for a bit of a ride, and then I'd have my last meal around lunchtime, like 12 o'clock. Travel to the game, and then we'd play, mate, and that would be it. But the work throughout the off season and the week would already be sort of setting you up with you, and then so it's just sort of doing the simple things come like in season,
What do you miss the most about playing?
I miss the contact and just that competition, mate, and being around the boys. Those things. The contact is something that you don't really always enjoy it throughout your career, especially when you're carrying injuries. But it's something you don't really get anywhere else in life. But that camaraderie with the boys, when you just feel like you're all in it together, that's probably the biggest thing you miss. But just competing too, man. I love to compete.
Yeah,
it's a lot very different in a footy too. Like you can try other sports, but for me, nothing sort of fills that void, man. It's just footy was the one. It was good. You're out there with a bunch of blokes with like minds, and you're just trying to be the best you can be. So that was really good.
Yeah, because I'm currently getting back into footy. So I think if you've probably seen my page, I do quite a lot of training. Been training a lot and at the gym a fair bit and on the field a lot and working on weight loss and getting back, and just joined a new club to have a crack to try to play again. It's been 2 years, so
Nice, mate.
It's good to you miss being around a team.
Yeah.
It really helps when you've got a good team and to fit in well.
Yeah, for sure, man. How did you get into footy, Nick? You've been around it all your life, or what about yourself? How did you get into it?
For a long time, my dad and my uncle have always been following footy. My dad's a Dragons fan, and my uncle's a Para supporter.
Yeah.
So I've always been around footy, but I only really got fully into it around the time of COVID. Got like fully down to it, committed to it, and I started to try to play in 2022. Was it like 15, 16? So I'm still learning how to play, and I played a couple of games for my school, and I'd never played before then, and it just ignited a fire inside of me to give it a go. And I got to play 2 proper games with Shell Harbour Stingrays.
Okay.
Then I kind of ran water the year after, and then I kind of stopped and nearly gave it up. But I got an opportunity to join the Berry Magpies this year, and
nice,
I've been out of shape for quite a while, and it ignited the fire in me. So I've been able to lose 5 kilos in around 2 months, and I've been training a lot, and I'll continue to train. So yeah, I love it. I love being my footy, and my goal hopefully to get back at some point this year.
Awesome, man. That's good to hear. So what, is it because Dragons are your local team as much as your dad's a supporter as well, or what happened there? Yeah.
Well, we've moved down. I live on the south coast now. I'm originally from Liverpool.
Liverpool. Yeah.
I went to. I know Campbelltown well and Narellan well. I got family there.
Yeah. Nice, mate.
You might even see me there at some point.
Yeah, maybe. We used to train out of Liverpool a lot too for the Maggies, so probably floating around there, mate. Who's your favourite player at the moment? Who do you like? Who's your favourite?
Got heaps. I think Blake Laurie is probably my go-to. Yeah. But I know quite a lot of the players through this podcast and page. I know a heap of the players, and I've interviewed quite a lot. So I like doing this interviewing, and I like to just talk to some people that haven't played a whole heap of NRL or one game, 100 games. We're not here to judge, because it's great to talk to people and hear their experiences and hear their story and see what I can take from their story and see if it would help me or help my listeners and that. So I've been doing it for about 2 years.
Yeah, really good.
So
that's good. We've been talking about maybe doing a podcast for a while, but we're too scared, to be honest, man. So it's good to see you just pull the trigger and get after it, man. It's one of those things. I probably overthink a lot, and I'm we're just a bit too I don't know what you call it. You're a bit nervous, a bit shy, whatever you want to call that thing, man, and just a bit worried to put your voice out there. So man, it's good to hear that you just got after it and had a go at it, man.
Yeah, it was good. It's been really good. I mean, I've had some bad social anxiety over the time, and it's kind of really helped with it as well. Exposed to new people, so I love it. And I have another one on Friday, another player talk on Friday.
Cool.
Keeping up a lot, and we also have merchandise coming out, but I also do music. So part of this page will have music and footy. So as
what sort of music do you do?
So I write and record my own music at the moment, and working on an album coming out at some point.
Yeah,
we do old school, so I don't like modern music. 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s rock.
Yeah,
AC/DC, Dionne Warwick, Aretha Franklin. So all of those type of people, and probably see what the people on guitars are there. So my rooms, you probably see fully dragonized. I've got everything.
Yeah.
I've got everything Dragons, footy, heaps of footies. But it's great. I love footy. It's
that's awesome, man. The game needs people like yourself who are obsessed on it, man. Is going to buy that merch and get after it too, man. As a big spot for that. Yeah.
I'll send you out a couple of the stickers for free I'll organise and I'll send you a couple of them.
All right, I'll send you some tips in how to get a bit leaner and stuff like that, man. Help you out a bit.
Yeah, that would be a big help.
Trade it off. No worries, man.
It's been good talking to you, and we'll definitely get you on again some point down the track. We'll get you on again, and we'll work out, get you do a podcast as well. I can give some advice with that.
Beautiful, man. Thanks for having me, mate. Really appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't be too worried about everyone. I've got to follow your advice.
Yeah, thank you very much, mate. Your tips would be a big help as well. So if you just message me and we'll work out something.
Beautiful, mate.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Thanks for your time, man. Take care.
You too.